After India was born as a modern nation state on 15 August 1947, I grew up in UP and MP singing North India's most popular nationalist song, Sare Jahan Se Acha Hai Hindustan Hamara. Hum bulbule hain iski, ye gulsita hamara. Translated into English, the opening stanza said, "Better than the entire world is our Hindustan. We are its nightingales, and it is our garden abode." Sir Muhammad Iqbal wrote this song in 1904, that is over a decade before Mahatma Gandhi returned from South Africa to India to lead the national struggle for independence. The song became an anthem of the independence struggle. It shaped the principle for which Mahatma Gandhi was killed. The sixth stanza said, "Religion does not teach us to bear animosity among ourselves. We are of Hind, our homeland is Hindustan." In Iqbal's own words, "Mazhab nahi sikhata, आपस में बैर रखना, हिंदी हैं हम, वतन है हिंदुस्तान हमारा." Iqbal's song made Hindustan the most loved name for our nation. It inspired popular slogans such as Jai Hind, victory to Hind, and Bharat Mata ki Jai, hail Mother India. Why didn't the Constitution then name our new nation Hindustan? The answer is said. The Constitution was drafted in the aftermath of Hindu-Muslim-Sikh animosity that killed over 1 million or more people. It threw 10 million or more Hindustanis out of their homes. Iqbal wrote the song for children in 1904. By 1910, he had given up his naive idealism. In 1930, he came to my hometown, Allahabad, and there he propounded his two-nation theory, which he thought was more realistic. It assumed that neither Islam nor Hinduism had a vision of a nation that could be a garden for flowers that differed from each other vastly. Iqbal's realism became the basis for two-nation theory that partitioned India into Pakistan and India. Ground realities, however, forced the Constituent Assembly to accept the fact that the partition had aborted Iqbal's naive vision of Hindustan as a garden where everyone could blossom. The Constituent Assembly, which wrote the Constitution, was elected before independence in December 1946. The Assembly completed its work on January 25, 1950. Its responsibilities included naming the new nation. In that process of naming, it considered suggestions such as Aryavrata, Bharatvarsh, and Jambudvipa. After due deliberation, the Constituent Assembly settled on two names. It said, "India, that is Bharat, shall be a union of states." The alternative was discussed. Why not call it Bharat, that is India? But that did not find sufficient support. Why? Because calling Hindustan Aryavrata would have divided Aryans and non-Aryans. And no nation called Bharat had actually ever existed in India. India had existed since 1858, but as a British colony. That intellectual environment began birthing nationalist organizations. The first of these was the Indian League, founded in Calcutta on 25th September 1875. Indian Association was founded on 26 July 1876 under the chairman of Reverend Krishna Mohan Banerjee. And then came Indian National Congress, which was founded in December of 1885 by a retired British civil servant, Alan Octavian Hume. Now, before the new nation was born in 1947, that is, before the Constituent Assembly started considering the appropriate name for Hindustan, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru had already wrestled with the identity of the nation that was about to be born. From 1942 to 1946, Pandit Nehru had been imprisoned in Ahmednagar Fort, where he wrote his classic, The Discovery of India. In naming the newborn nation India, the Constituent Assembly came to the same conclusion as many nationalists had done, including Nehru. The question is that where did this name India come from? And the answer is it came from the Bible. In the next two lectures, I will point out that not just the name, but the DNA came from the Bible. India existed not in the geographic entity that is called India today, but in the European mind. Why did Columbus call Native Americans Indians? Columbus, when he reached America in 1492, he called the native people Indians. When Vasco da Gama reached Calicut in 1498, no Indian called himself Indian because the concept of India didn't exist in India. Captain Cook explored Australia almost 270 years after Vasco da Gama had come to India. Still, native Australians were called Indians until about 100 years ago. Why is Indonesia Indian Asia? Well, the answer is that India fascinated Europeans because the Bible's book of Esther mentioned India as the easternmost province of the Persian Empire. That is when Esther was the Jewish queen of Persia. The book called Esther was the last historical book written as part of the Old Testament just before the Greek historians such as Herodotus began using the Greek word for India. They didn't call it India. India came from the Latin Bible. And in Columbus's day or Vasco da Gama's day, no one in Western, Southern or Northern Europe knew how to read Greek language, nor were Greek historians available. Their books were not available in most of Europe. The Bible was available, and the Bible stimulated European interest in India. It not only gave the name India, but it forged the DNA of modern nation states that Indian National Congress and the Constituent Assembly began to thrash out, to develop in their works and writings.